A while ago, I was digging through some old hard drives and USB sticks and found some old footage from me and Joep doing a bikepacking trip from Reville in France, Normandy, back towards our homes, in the east of the Netherlands, to be specific. At first I was mostly curious about how bad my editing skills were back then. Not that I'm great now, but I think it's safe to say that I've become a little bit better. Back then they were pretty bad. I was editing everything on an old and painfully slow MacBook, just adding captions everywhere because I wasn't really comfortable to speak to the camera. So I poured myself a drink, non-alcoholic before anyone asks, and then I started re-editing this old adventure. After a few minutes I got completely drawn into it. I decided to remove the old lame-ass captions and try a voiceover instead. And this video is also a little bit different from my usual uploads. These days I normally film in 4K, but back then we didn't have the cameras for that. So it's all in 1080p. And the camera that Joep was filming with was in 1970s retro modus. But I think the memories are worth sharing again, because watching this footage gave me something I didn't expect. A feeling at looking back to a different time. Different persons also. Not because it was that long ago. In fact, it was like 5 years ago. But a lot has changed since then. I became a father. Life has become a little bit more serious since then. And Joep is still out there exploring the world, spending most of the year abroad for new experiences. But watching this didn't make me miss the younger versions of me and Joep. It was still us, just at a different point in life. So this video is a tribute to those versions of us. The guys who didn't really know what they were doing, packed way too much stuff, had no perfect plan, and decided to cycle back home from France just because it sounded like a nice idea. So let's go back.
Jesus loves you more than you will know. Whoa, whoa, whoa. God bless you, please, Mrs. Robinson. Heaven holds a place for those who pray. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. We'd like to know a little bit about you.
Réville, Reville, I don't know how to pronounce it, because French is not my usual language to speak in, is a special place because Joep's family has been coming here for years. It was a place they returned to, a place connected to family and holidays. This time, however, we weren't taking the easy way home. We decided to ride. After roughly a 9-hour drive from the Netherlands with Joep, we spent the first days enjoying the beach, the sun, good food and great company. Normandy already felt almost tropical at times. The blue sea, the cliffs, the warm weather. It didn't really feel like France I had imagined before coming here. Then, after about a week, it was time to start cycling. We had no strict plan. We had a general direction, a phone for navigation, and a feeling that we would figure things out.
Dit ding is een eye-catcher.
Our Our bikes were not exactly lightweight expedition machines either. We had enough gear for a glamping session. A lot of unnecessary stuff, a small table, hammocks to sit in, and probably things we never even used. But at the time, it felt completely normal. The adventure had started. The first day of cycling immediately taught us something important. The sun in Normandy was not joking around. Neither of us brought sunscreen, so we just accepted our mistake and kept going. I remember that first evening being really rough. My body clearly wasn't used to this. The combination of heat, distance and a loaded bike hit me harder than expected. I was exhausted and even felt a little feverish. At that moment I definitely wondered, what have I gotten myself into? Joep was doing much better. He has always been a bit of a physical machine. Somehow, he could keep going while I was struggling. But that was also the nice thing about traveling together. We balanced each other out. When one of us was struggling, the other one usually had enough energy for both of us. After some sleep and coffee, I felt ready again. We continued towards Cannes, where we stopped to get groceries. Our goal was Avec. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but yeah. A small place near the Seine, where we had spotted a forest on the map. After a day of cycling in the heat, a quiet place with trees and water sounded perfect.
Le Petite Mer.
irritant kerel. Dit.
Near Agier we met Philippe Cadet, a French cyclist traveling alone. He was on his way back from his Camino de Santiago adventure, following his own route home. By coincidence, we both ended up choosing the same place to spend the night. We talked in English for a while about cycling, traveling and the adventures that bring people onto the road. Before we continued our separate journeys, Philippe took some photos of us for his blog. For some reason he didn't write our names as Nigel and Joep, but as Goup and Nagel, which became a funny little memory from the trip.
Beneden is goed. Niet per se omhoog.
The day after, we crossed the Pont de Bretagne, which felt pretty strange. Slowly cycling across a massive bridge with fully loaded bikes, while cars and trucks passed us at incredible speeds. After the bridge, we continued towards Dieppe, and we enjoyed the fresh French countryside air. Well, at least until a tractor full of manure reminded us what fresh countryside air actually means. Somewhere near Joep, we decided to swap bikes for a while, just to give our bodies a different riding position. As we got closer to Belleville-sur-Mer, things became harder. The hills were getting steeper, the bikes were heavy and the temperature was around 36 degrees Celsius. At some point, pushing the bike uphill simply became the logical choice. There's no shame in walking when the conditions are against you. Luckily, every climb comes with a descent.
Het is wel vet op zich.
The night we slept next to a sport hall on the parking area with a beautiful view of the white cliffs. At the beginning of the trip, we were still wondering where we were allowed to sleep. By this point, we honestly didn't care that much anymore. We just needed a place to rest. Day 4 started. We still had no idea exactly where we would end up. We left early, hoping to stay ahead of the worst of the afternoon heat. for electricity. After another long ride from Belleville-sur-Mer towards Teneur, we decided to sleep next to a small stream. The water was cold, refreshing, and exactly what we needed after another hot day. Looking back, those simple moments are some of the ones I remember best. Not necessarily the big views or the kilometers, just finding a place to stop and thinking, yeah, this is pretty good.
Sun melted cheese.
Ja, dit kan ook niet. Als ik gereed...
Reville.
The day started with a climb. With every meter we gained, the air became cooler. It felt like we were slowly escaping the heat trapped in the valley below. On this trip, we also discovered one very important thing about France. Almost every cemetery has a water tap. So cemeteries became our unofficial water stations. A very practical solution, and probably one of the stranger parts of bikepacking. France also introduced us to another interesting site. Apparently old cars have their own ecosystem here. Every Peugeot, Renault and Citroën eventually seem to end up on a forgotten property.
Как же он еще далек, ты мне, ветер, помоги, милая весточку шепни. Знаю, ждет меня краса. Проглядела в ночь глаза, как ночка темная, как речка быстрая.
Final day was going to be the biggest challenge. From Teneur, we would continue through Belgium towards Zeeland. From there we would take the ferry from Breskens to Vlissingen, catch a train and then finish the last part by bike. In total, it would become the longest cycling day of the entire trip. Around 205 kilometers. Added to the roughly 600 kilometers we had already covered, it was going to be a serious distance. And somehow we were going to do it.
Ja. Nou ja, iets.
I guess even Jesus needs sunscreen in France.
dan hier?
Wel. Dat ik dat ga vergeten. Fiets, karretje, dik gezicht. Wat had ik het? Fiets.
Принеси меня, река, за крутые берега. Принеси меня, река, за крутые берега. Голубые у нее глаза.
Night ride, fuck yeah. We zijn nu, hoe lang wakker? 5 uur zijn we opgestaan.
Dus bijna 24 uur.
Bijna 24 uur. Met nog steeds het karretje. Ja, ja. ...99. ...200 gek. Oh yeah.
The funny thing is that most of the moments were never filmed. The jokes, the conversations, the small victories, the random things that happen when two people spend days together on the road. A camera only captures a small part of an adventure. The rest stays with you. And that's probably why I wanted to revisit this video. Not because the footage is perfect, not because we did something extraordinary, but because it reminds me of a simple time when we decided to do something without overthinking it. We didn't have the perfect gear, we didn't have the perfect plan, we just started and somehow it worked out. I don't know what I'm doing, I just do stuff, and sometimes it works out.